We were all in the sitting room watching something light-hearted, trying to soak in the last few moments before bedtime. Then Mom walked in just a few minutes before 8 p.m. I noticed the tension in her body. Even before the door clicked shut, Dad was already inside. Seconds later, a scream. I'm confused on so many levels because this is the direct opposite of who I am and how I was raised. I'm empathizing because I come from a home where there was zero fights.
This is the Unapologetic Mic, where unspoken words finally find a voice. No scripts, no filters, no judgment. Speak your truth on your story.
Oh, wow. Dear Mom and Dad, I'm carrying years of silence that were never meant to stay quiet, but today I choose to speak. I remember that night like it's just happened. We were all in the sitting room watching something light-hearted, trying to soak in the last few moments before bedtime. Then Mom walked in just a few minutes before 8 p.m. I noticed the tension in her body. The way her hello barely made it out of her mouth, she headed straight to the bedroom. Even before the door clicked shut, Dad was already inside. Seconds later, a scream. I turned off the TV and did what had become the second nature, grabbed the boys and ran to our room, where we always used as shelter when your fights broke out. This wasn't new. We knew the drill. Hide, wait, pretend nothing happened, then repeat. But this time felt different. The shouting grew louder, the banging on doors more violent. My heart was pounding as I ran towards your room, and that's when I saw you, Dad, holding a Somali sword. Mom was trying to shut the bathroom door as she pushed hard against it. Then came your voice, sharp, cold, and terrifying. Tonight, one of us must die. Something inside me broke that day, not just because of the violence, but because you did not care that we were watching, that you were breathing in that fear like it was normal. I was 7 when home stopped feeling safe, when I stopped being a child and started surviving. Mom ran out that night. You disappeared. I didn't know where you went, but I waited for every night, hoping to see you again. But Dad didn't wait. A few weeks later, he brought someone new in the house. A woman who treated us like strangers. Her eyes held no warmth. Her words held no kindness. She hurt us with the hands that were meant to embrace us. I tried to be strong. I swallowed the pain the way I always had. But one day, something inside me snapped. In the middle of the beatings, I picked up a clay plate and threw it at her chest. I didn't care anymore. I just wanted her gone. The moment it shattered, I knew what I had done. I knew you wouldn't listen. So I grabbed my little brothers and we ran. That night we slept on the streets, under an open sky, on cold cement. Yet despite the fear, despite the hunger, I felt free. But when you found us, Dad, you didn't ask if you were okay. You beat me so hard, I stopped waiting for love and became numb. We went back home and survival became louder than affection. I learned to grow with an armor and not arms around me. When I was 14, Mom came back. I barely recognized her. And just when I thought I might get my mom back, I was wrong because you left again. Another fight, another escape. This time at 2 a.m. your face bruised, and your spirit crushed. I finally grew up, and for most of my life, I wrestled with the same questions. Why didn't anyone choose us? Why didn't you protect us? I lost my childhood in your war. I live with anxiety. I flinch at raised voices. I struggle to breathe in rooms that remind me of the past. I push people away before they get too close because I've lived in a body wired for survival, not safety. I'm writing this letter to the broken people who broke me. And I want you to know I forgive you, though I don't think I will forget. I may never be close to either of you, but I am learning to mother myself, to father my fears, and to rebuild my life. If you ever wonder who I became, know this: the child you overlooked didn't just survive. He's learning to live, and maybe, for the first time, to truly be free. Sincerely, your son, by blood, not by bond. Yeah. All pride aside, I just feel like the person who wrote this letter, I connect with them at a deeper level. Not even because of the words and the choice of, not even the rhythm of the words, not even in the choice of the events and how they follow each other. The writer of this letter, you actually captured my attention at the last part, that you forgive. And forgetting is the hardest part. Most relatable parts are sometimes we fall out with our parents. And the one thing for sure is that they chose each other. And when they chose each other, we were absent, we were not present. I'm confused on so many levels because this is the direct opposite of who I am and how I was raised. I'm empathizing because I come from a home where there was 0 fights, 0 screaming, 0 yelling. But our home was more like see how long time ago, like people would fight. So each and every village would build a fort. So our home was mostly a fort. So I've had to share beds with people who became my brother by choice or brother by design because they had to come to our house because this happened in their home. This story reminds me of a good friend of mine we grew up with. And right now he's out there somewhere changing the world. And this exact incident is very familiar. And it actually caught my attention because this is a guy who really wanted to know his father and his mother. And his father remarried. The worst part is that when parents are fighting, and sometimes they resolve, and sometimes there's silence, and sometimes it feels safe, they forget to go back and talk to their children and help them understand what is going on. And you see, in total madness and chaos, nobody really understands the life of a child. And when the pieces are broken, nobody cleans up, and these kids have to step on the broken pieces. And it forms 100% of the personality and who they are. I empathize with this person because they found a control mechanism of how to, okay, there's gonna be fights, so might as well take my younger brothers and go into safety. These are people who've seen it all. The screams, the shouting. I can't even stand or even start to imagine the kind of trauma that they're going through. Every time they hear a scream today, are they responding to it with, I know what to do about it? Or are they responding to that kind of trauma with, oh, here we go again? Or are they responding to that kind of trauma with, is it also happening in my own house? This is a crazy thing to read. And it just goes to the kind of violence that people are raised around, like a Somali sword being pulled. That's people who have gotten to a point of love where, they're not going to come back. It's not a point of return. Like if you get to a point where I'm really pushing down a door and I'm holding a knife and my kids are there and they're watching, I believe it's terrifying. One thing that I appreciate about the writer of this letter is they have an account and they can actually go back to 7 years, to 14 years, to the grown person that they are. It tells you one thing. Trauma has a journey. Trauma is act in memory and it's so clear. Sometimes, I think for anyone who's gone through anything traumatic, you'd empathize with this person. If you are hearing me today and you've gone through all this, I want to appreciate you for helping me learn that there's so many parts of me that did not heal when I was a kid. Because it actually reminds me of an actual incident. And my friend had to grow up without the dad. And they grew up within the same area. And it's within the same area. But for them, it's different. For them, the son has never forgiven the dad. For them, the sister had to give birth early. And all they blame is their father, You taking responsibility has challenged me to forgive the things that I saw when I was a kid. Has challenged me to also try and protect my inner child. I appreciate you for taking the journey, but using this letter as a platform to help people who've dealt with anxiety like I have. Because my mind has always been in the future. Am I gonna turn out well? Am I going to turn out better with the incidences? Because the things that I've seen, I've told you our house was more like a fort. So we had so many people come to our house for help. And so I saw a lot of drama. So I want to appreciate you for sharing your struggle story and for teaching us to forgive our inner child and for teaching us to forgive ourselves. And also for reminding us that there are some boundaries. Once breached, then it's not easy. For the parents who are listening to me and violence is your daily routine, you're breaking the next generation of greatness. You're imposing a curse on them because for some ladies, they'll think that this man doesn't love me because they don't beat me up. For the men, they'll feel like I'm not exercising authority because I'm not beating up my wife. For some, it's this is your place in this marriage. And it removes the essence of value, of love and value in each other. So this letter has taught me a lot of things. You've carried years of silence, carried years in silence, but you've taught us one thing. Your silence has actually spoken louder than anything. Thank you for teaching us to love each other, to appreciate each other, that we need to forgive, but also for teaching us that there's one thing that we need not cross, and it's a boundary. And I like how you signed out. By blood, not by bond. That if it was a choice to actually get out of the bloodline, you definitely get out of it. But you know that it's forever. And there was zero disrespect. It was just you sharing your pain. Thank you for allowing us to be truly free. Yeah. Thank you for not allowing me to read it. Yeah. I would have pretended so much. Paragraph 5. Yeah. But it actually is a story that I got one of my friends and This was the order of the day. And the worst part was, like, the dad would come and beat up the mom in our house. You know. So that's like the bad part. You know. That was the bad part. I remember the mom would have to hide chini ya bed ya mama angu, so that we just come and say, hayuko hatujamuona. So to me, this was really personal. Until date, the guy hates the father. And they live within the same locality. And when the guy sees the father, the boy has not healed. So the boy comes out every time. Akiona babake ako tu zile za, we mzee mwenye ulikataa kulea watoto wako. Like it's so, like, in that moment. And then the sister got her baby when she was about 19. And her excuse is, ningekuwa na babangu, maybe ningeturn out vizuri. Babangu angenipeleka shule. So it's, their entire life is wishful thinking. Because nobody took time to sit them down and talk to them and tell them this is how you're going to heal. And the mom has never remarried. But give her a slight chance, she'll mention that man. And it's been 30 plus years. And it's like, mbono ulinitoa kwa wazazi wangu. And that's the daunting part. I'm just like, if you, kumari si lazima. I usually say that. Like, if you don't have to marry, if you know that you're not the kind of person who wants to take care of your people. I'm not saying that, I'm not judging anyone, but I'm just saying that if you get to a point where you married someone's daughter and you got kids together, don't remarry. Like, adding other people into the math is not... Because this guy remarried and then the wife died. And then he had to remarry, then the wife died. So why are you remarrying? Like, the message was not clear. Yeah. Should be clear that you remarried and then someone passed on. And then you remarried again and then... Yeah. No. This guy, when he remarried, he was like the best dad ever. It's like he learned his lesson. But you know, this first family will never forgive you, because what unatuambia aje that these kids are going to private schools. Unatuambia aje that this kiddo is going to another private school, high school. At this kid is being picked by a bus and you've never paid our school fees. How do you explain it to these kids? You get? So that pain, like, it's the one pain that I didn't know I had. Like, yeah, because I'm a deep empath, and I remember the guy would cry. Unamuuliza unalia nini? Tunafungua shule kesho. Nini mbaya? Sina school fees. Oh, hiyo tu. I'll talk to my dad. My dad would pay their school fees. My dad paid their school fees mpaka high school. And I would tell my dad, unajua ni brother wangu mdogo. And I was like, yeah, najua ni brother wako mdogo. And he doesn't have school fees. So I would tell my dad, see, unitoa hiyo shule yenye mimi niko, utupeleke kwa shule yao, because school fees yangu ni italipa yetu sisi wote wawili. My dad would be like, it's okay. Yaki pay italipwa. And mark you, my dad is not a wealthy guy. My dad is just a guy who found himself. Like, he understands life and found himself. So now imagine this guy who's... Yeah, I'm sorry, guys. Yeah. Like, the guy would tell you, sina hata nguo ya shule. But the dad remarried. And then the dad now is kind of living large. And the dad is a bishop now. And you know, he's preaching, praise the Lord, hallelujah. And then he goes back into, you're not taking care of your kids. I mean, I don't know what that woman did, but I don't think kids need to pay for things that they did not do. For example, when you're meeting with your wife, those kids were not there, Mazi. So they have to pay. Like, these guys are paying till dates. Like, my friend grew up, he went to college, he traveled abroad, he stayed in, I think, 5 multiple countries, but the guy came back, still the pain. You'd see his posts on Father's Day, and his posts on Father's Day are, Happy Father's Day to the best mom ever. Unlike other guys, like he would use the word spam donor, other than spam donors, that, they didn't take the full responsibility of, I didn't know that's a pain that I carry, honestly. But it's really, really bad. I don't know how this person has been in position to forgive. I don't know how this person has developed a heart to forgive. God bless this person, whoever they are, because forgiving is not easy. Leave alone forgetting. So, I didn't know that's an open wound that I need to also work on myself. But thank you for this. We'll go cry elsewhere, because if I cry here, we'll go viral.